Hey guys, how's it going? Whamwich here, back with a second Penny Dreadful League run. This time I'm going to play with a deck that I think I made pretty early in this format life. And honestly, when this season started, I was messing around with Cloudpost. I really just wanted to play with this card, and I built a lot of decks that were Cloudpost decks. They needed Cloudpost to work, and they were built around Cloudpost. And none of them worked particularly well. And then I ended up on this build, and really what this deck is it's not a Cloudpost deck. It's a Colourless aggro deck, and it just happens to be able to run Cloudpost because so many of its cards are colorless, and because it's got this fantastic top end as payoff. But really, that's the strength of the deck. Is you're not hoping to draw Cloudpost. Really, I don't think the format has the land search necessary to make a Cloudpost deck like we saw early in the modern format. It's you really just kind of got to hope for the luck of the draw to try to draw your Cloudposts, and if that doesn't work, a deck built around Cloudpost isn't going to work. So this is not a deck built around Cloudpost. It is a colorless aggro deck that just happens to run Cloudpost. So what are we doing with this deck? Well, the best thing about this deck is without a doubt Elder Deep Fiend. If you played with or against this card in Standard, you'll know that it's completely and utterly broken. This card single-handedly can turn around a game that you're losing. It can close out a game that was tight, and if you're already winning when you cast this card, it just completely shuts the door. Retrogryph is, well, it's no Elder Deep Fiend, but it's still a really good body. Being a flyer is really nice. Drawing a card's really good against the control decks, which are pretty good in this format. It's beefy enough to be able to block most of the creatures from the red deck. Yeah, and it's really it is really very good value, even if you do have to sacrifice a smaller creature. So that's the main thing we're doing with this deck. So how have we built our support package? We've got Filgry Familiar, which is the best card to sacrifice for a merge. The 1/1 flyer for 3 that gets you a land, I have tried out in this deck, and the 2 life is just a little bit more important against the red deck, which is a really strong deck in this format. Drawing a card is slightly better than getting a land, even though you don't get it guaranteed. You have to get rid of your Filgry Familiar first, but this does provide a little bit more reach against like the control decks being able to draw a card. And the 2/2 body's nice, but you know you do miss out on a flyer. If there wasn't a red deck in the format, I would probably play, what's it called? One sec, I've got another deck here that has it in. I should know this. Pilgrim's Eye. I would play Pilgrim's Eye if there was no red deck, I think, because the flyer is really good. And getting the land up front, not having to wait till your familiar dies, is also nice. But for now, the familiar is the best thing. Sky Spawner, another really good card to sacrifice because you get the Eldrazi spawn as a little bit of extra goodness. It has flying, which is also really nice. Makes 2 bodies, which is important for the next card, which is our last 3-drop, is Ruination Guide. This card's by far the worst with our two emerge creatures, but it is really good with our low to the ground aggro plan. All of our cards in this deck are colorless. We've got blue devoid creatures and your basic artifacts, so every creature in this deck gets pumped by the Ruination Guide. It's got a decent body itself. 3/2 for 3 is fine. I don't think Ingest ever really comes up, but it's got that as well. Yeah, Ruination Guides are really good when you're curving out with creatures. For our 2-drops, we have Dimensional Infiltrator, a Flash Flyer, resistant to Wraths. Yeah, the flying's really good. Yeah, not much to say about this. It's a pretty good aggressive creature. Apocryphite is a card that it took me a little while to realize was in the format. I sort of had a vague idea that it existed, but I'd never really thought about playing it, as it's not really considered like a modern card, and I never really played with it in Standard. But eventually I sort of stumbled upon it, and this card is completely bonkers against any sort of grindy control deck that's looking to use 1-for-1 removal. It coming back and it getting haste when it comes off suspend as a 4/4 every like third turn if they kill it every time is yeah, it's really really good. It does fall a bit flat in like quicker mirrors, like against combo decks or against mono red, but it's still a fine thing to sacrifice. It can chump block and maybe come back, um, and you know it carries a Ghost Fireblade fine. Silver Myr is a bit of a weird one. It's only a 1/1 for 2. You wouldn't think it fits the aggressive like deck archetype very well, but it does curve into Wretched Griff really well on turn 3. You play this on turn 2, tap it for mana on turn 3, and with your third land, that's 4 mana -2, and you can bring in a Wretched Griff on turn 3, which is really nice. Also, in general, the deck does occasionally curve out into just playing an 8-drop, 7-drop, playing multiple 3-drops, and you can also see this with our 24 land count. We're not cutting lands because we're an aggro deck, and Silver Myr is also pretty much on that game plan. I did have the Eldrazi Mimic in this spot when I first built this deck, but I found that you never really get much value out of that. The Sky Spawner doesn't make it bigger. These two cards you generally want to sacrifice a creature, and that ended up being the Mimic most of the time. And then Ruination Guide is really the only card that you're going to be playing, and then it gets bigger and can attack. So I found that the Silver Myr being able to tap for mana, curving better into our emerge creatures, and then also letting us cast multiple 3-drops on the same turn, just made it a little bit more consistent choice. Ghostfire Blade is in some ways what holds the whole deck together. It makes all of these slightly mediocre bodies, Apocryphite being a 1/1, Silver Myr being a 1/1, Filigree Familiar a 2/2 for 3, into genuine aggressive threats. Being able to equip for 1 onto every creature in the deck is really good. It gives us a lot of protection against like the 3 mana Wrath spells for our Ruination Guide and our Filigree Familiar, as well as like other burn spells. So for example, if you put it on a Wretched Griff, it can't get Burst Lightning even when you kick the Burst Lightning. It works really well with our flyers. We have 3 playsets of flyers in this deck, and being able to put a Ghost Fireblade onto one of them is really important. Yeah, it lets our creatures get as big as some of the like Temur Ascendancy creatures that are getting played, and it really just it pushes everything over the edge and gives us that like that really good tempo play for a really low cost. All of our creatures just become much more threatening. I've mentioned it before. We're playing 24 lands because really we do have this top end. You don't want to miss land drops. We've got a lot of 3-drops that we want to cast, and being able to cast multiple 3-drops is never bad. And then the Cloud Post and Glimmer Post really give us like a little bit more edge in a lot of matchups. If you manage to get some of these out early, you can end up doing stuff like having like 3 mana on turn 2, or having 4 mana on turn 3, and that's not to mention when sometimes if you get the Nut Hand and you get to just like hard cast Wretched Griffs and Elder Deep Fiends way above curve. I haven't really had any problems with not having enough blue. The blue requirement's actually really light in this deck. I don't think I've ever had a problem with I've only drawn my colorless sources and never a blue source. And the only card in the deck that requires a colorless source is the Infiltrator, and that's only for its ability, which is useful, but not necessarily. If this card didn't have this ability, we'd still be playing it. So the split of lands is fine. And Glimmer Post is really nice against like the mono red decks and other aggressive decks sometimes. It's definitely won me some games where I get to gain like 3 or 5 life if I draw a couple of them. Yeah, and it can be the point that matters when you start racing with your bigger creatures. The sideboard we have at the moment, I haven't run this exact sideboard configuration before, but it's a bunch of cards that I know is good. We've got Cranial Archive, which is my go-to my go-to graveyard hate. It goes in every deck. Being able to draw a card when you use it is really good, and this deck being able to put on a lot of pressure, and then you can leave open the 2 mana. We've got flash creatures, So you really can just like leave open that 2 mana, which can be a problem for some decks, but not really for this one. Orbs of Warding is a good one of. It is a 5-drop, so I'm only playing one of them, but it's really good against mono red. And yeah, there's probably some combo decks out there that this is good against as well. Elixir of Immortality I have in here for just the mono red matchup. I might bring it against Control if I thought they were going to go really long, but I don't think that's really a likelihood. So I probably wouldn't bring this in against like a Control deck. But just like aggro deck, it's just a cheap way to gain like a fair bit of life. Imprisoned in the Moon and Control Magic are for decks that are bringing out creatures that are too big for our creatures to really get through. They both fairly efficiently neutralize a threat that one of our opponents might have put some real work into getting out. Control Magic especially is really nice if they like tap out on turn 4 for like a big creature and you just steal it. It really turns the pressure back on them. Sleep is a bit of an interesting one. It's probably my least favorite card in the sideboard, but I have it in here because there are some decks that really do flood the board, go really wide, and having a way to crack through. We do have flyers, which I think do most of the heavy lifting against those sort of decks, but having Sleep to really just have that like 1 or 2 turn kill is really good. And finally, we have one of my favorite sideboard cards of the current format, Unwind. Untapping 3 lands can be relevant because we have the flash creatures, but really it's just a 3-mana gate, and that's exactly what you need against a lot of the combo decks and control decks. Yeah, once again, we can play out a couple of threats in the first couple of turns and just have Unwind on turn 5 when a control deck is trying to play their sweeper, or once we've established like a 3 or 4 turn clock, we can just leave open our Unwind. And yeah, they have to try to go off, and then we just have this answer. Not to mention being able to untap Cloud Posts is potentially broken, but I'm not sure how often that's going to come up. Yeah, so that's the deck. I've played at least like 3 or 4 leagues with this deck, but it's been a while since I've touched it, so we'll see if the metagame's changed enough to make it bad. I have had a fair bit of success with it before, so hopefully we'll be able to put up a good record this time around. Yeah, and I'll see you guys for game 1. Alright, coming in with match 1 with Colourless Eldrazi Aggro. Won the dice roll, which is nice. And this is a pretty great hand. Probably won't play Ghost Fireblade turn 1 because I just get my Cloud Post down ASAP, but we'll see what I draw. Yeah, just thinking. I can't get my Sky Spawner out turn 2 if I just go these 2 because I won't have any blue. So there's no point playing my Ghost Fireblade turn 1. Because this gives me an option to draw like a 2-drop, and then I can play Ghost Fireblade and the 2-drop on turn 2. Opponent could be on Temur Emerge. Not Temur Emerge, what am I saying? Temur Ascendancy. Or some funky like 4-color deck. Looks like I'm just gonna play my Ghost Fireblade this turn. Bit of a shame, would have liked to draw like an Apocryphite or a Silvermare here. But that's okay. Mystic Monastery. I wonder if this is another Jeskai Ascendancy deck, like the one we played last video. There's the Silvermare we wanted the last turn. So now we have 4 mana. So we can play our Sky Spawner and equip the Ghostfire Blade. I'm going to equip it to the token just so neither of our creatures is like a particularly good target. Also because I'm probably going to sacrifice the Sky Spawner next turn. So if this is Jeskai Ascendancy, I think we're going to have a quick enough draw to like really get out over the top of them. That's pretty good for our opponent. That's alright, we can play double creature here. They could just be on some 4-color control deck, but I'm not sure why they'd be playing a tune with either. And I think I am going to double creature here because the chance of them having another sweep is pretty low. But if they do, we could be in trouble unless we draw another, like, Cloudburst or something. Seaside Citadel. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, now we need to draw another creature or some more Cloudbursts. Land's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more mana to start hardcasting these big ones. Unfortunately, Ghostfire Blade can't get any of these creatures up to like 4 toughness. So we didn't really have the option of playing around the Radiant Flames, except by just not playing this Silver Mare. But I guess if the same thing comes up game 2, I'll definitely be thinking more about multiple Radiant Flames out of our opponent. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 mana off. And then we should just about start. Oh no, wait, Richard Griffin only costs 7. Oh no, I'm sorry, team. Bit of a punt. Definitely could have cast this guy. Not that it matters if I'm about to die here. I'm just going to put Jeskai Ascendancy in its own pile. If they want to take all of these ones, that's fine. I'm just going to hope they don't have the Ascendancy in hand. Yeah, it looks like they took the Ascendancy, so now we'll see if they can kill us. This, of course, is just more fuel for Treasure Cruise if they have that in hand. So we did pump by not playing the Wretched Griff, but it looks like it's not going to matter. Because it looks like we're dead. Yeah, probably. Alright, so yeah, so here we can play Silvermere, and then in their upkeep we can flash in an Elder Deep Fiend and tap down 4 of their lands. So we'll put a stop in their upkeep. I think we're still pretty much in trouble here. But maybe if we manage to chain a couple of Elder Deep Fiends together, we can still get there. This is just fine. I don't think we're going to live or die off the back of this Ghost Fireblade. So the opponent's probably looking for like a Sylvan Awakening or the other one that does the same thing. Not going to waste mana equipping the Blade when they can just seal Primordium it. We don't have any other targets, so they're just going to do it anyway. Yeah. That's fine. I have to leave one of their dual lands untapped. I probably want to tap both of their white ones, all of their white ones. So they can't cast the tutor that lets them go get more ascendancies. Yep, there we go. And now if they have anything to cast here. Alright. I'm just going to concede here. They've got 4 cards in hand. And they only really need to cast like 3 more spells before we're just dead to all these creatures. So game 2. I'm not going to bring in Cranial Archive. I think it's fine against like Treasure Cruise, but I don't want to like stop the speed of my deck too much. So I'm going to bring in all these unwinds. So this doesn't work against Jeskai Ascendancy. It's only creatures, lands, or planeswalkers, so I'm not going to bring it in either. And I don't think this does anything in this matchup. Fact or Fiction doesn't target like Gifts Ungiven does. I don't believe. So it doesn't stop that. So four cards in, and bringing out. Now I take out a couple of Silvermares. 1 Wretched Gryph. And a Filthy Familiar. Kind of random. The Apocryphite does a better job of surviving the Wraths that I know they have. Wretched Gryph's a bit of a like, you tap out and then maybe you're just dead. And then Filthy Familiar is just not as exciting when I don't care about the life gain here. So hopefully we'll be able to draw enough unwinds to keep the combo down and still maintain our speed. Playing first. This is fine. Would love a Ghost Fireblade, but definitely keeping. I'm gonna go Apocryphite, Skyspawn, or Ruination Guide for max damage. I've been impressed with the consistency of this deck actually. I haven't seen the mulligan much, which I would have thought would happen in a 4-color deck, but I think they get to play a bunch of dual lands. and or, like tri lands, and then also a tune with Aether probably helps a lot as well. So hopefully we don't really draw any more lands and just start drawing emerge creatures, Ghost Fireblades, more Ruination Guides, that sort of stuff. Yeah, Rampant Growth also helps fix that mana, I suppose. Alright, drawing more lands is not great. So I think we're kind of hoping to dodge a Wrath here. More ramping. Possibly has Burst Lightning held up here. Hmm. If I had have drawn more spells, I'd consider playing around a Wrath. But the fact that if they Wrath here and I only have Ruination Guide, it's not really gonna do enough for me. So I'm just gonna play it out to get this immediate power boost. So just fingers crossed, no Radiant Flames, none of the 5-mana White Wraths. Okay. So they can't untap their lands this turn. Goodness gracious. Well, I don't like our chances. Looks like our opponent's probably gonna get there this turn. Bit of a shame, like one more creature. Probably could have got us there. An Unwind would have been really good. But I guess they're not untapping their lands, so they haven't made it yet. Yeah, I misread the situation, but yeah, when they want on tapping their lands, it makes it much harder for them. So that was good. I don't think we're going to change anything. Now I haven't seen anything that I want to change, so hopefully we just draw some more unwinds this game, because I think being able to counter their Discard Ascendancy is super critical. This is a good hand. Ghost Fireblade does give you a little bit of more immunity to like a Wrath effects. Apocrypha's really good. Dimensional Infiltrator, you can bounce away from a Wrath, so this is actually a really good hand. And having two Ghost Fireblades really lets us put the pressure on, even though we only have a couple of creatures. So I think next turn I'm just going to play the second blade and equip both to this Apocrypha. Really put the pressure on. That's unfortunate that they got to play that. When we couldn't counter it. I'd really love to draw an unwind so we can have this pressure, but then also have a way to stop them doing stuff instead of sort of just hoping that they don't. They don't get there. Our Foxlight's now out of range of Radiant Flames if that's their only sweeper. Alright. Looks like our opponent's going to try to go for it super early. This is by far the quickest I've ever seen this deck, like, to attempt to go off. And hopefully their 4 cards aren't any good. If we had have had an unwind this turn, I wouldn't have made this play. I would have just held open the Infiltrator and unwind as options. Okay, this is good for us. We're not dead yet. So maybe our opponent has another Awakening, in which case we need to draw unwind this turn. That will do it also. So we can attack for 5 here, tap down all of their stuff. Wait, can we? No, we can't. We're going to be a mana short. So we can't play this turn. Playing Glimmerpost only gets us to 11 life. So if they do the same thing this turn they did last turn, which is like this Sylvan Awakening, and then one more spell, and we block 1 with a Dimensional Infiltrator, then we'll take 9, we'll go to 2. So I think that's the plan here. I'm going to play Glimmerpost. And then I'm going to infiltrate it to block a land if they do the same thing again, and hopefully they can only cast one more spell on top of the awakening. Okay, that's good. I think this means we just are going to win. Because we can attack here next turn, and then we have Elder Deep Fiend to stop them playing anything on their last turn. End of turn Infiltrator. Now we have enough mana to cast out Elder Deep Fiend. Attack for 7. So despite not drawing a counter spell, we've just sort of put enough pressure, and we've got disruption with the Elder Deep Fiend, which has let us sort of get there. I don't think it really matters what I sacrifice, but the Apocrite will come back eventually. Alright, good luck, opponent. And we got that, 1-0. Alright, see you guys for the next game. Alright guys, how's it going? Back for round 2 with Colourless Eldrazi Aggro. Got a capable hand here, a few more lands than I'd like, but at least we have a couple of Cloud Posts, which should help us get up into the 7s and 8s. So I'm going to keep it. We are on the draw as well, which means we might be able to get some more action going. Mono red, potentially. I'm just going to play a Cloud Post turn 1, turn 2 Apocrite, and then hopefully turn 3 equip a Ghost Flablade. Uh-oh, did I? Well, that's a real shame. I haven't been using Magic Online for a little while, and unfortunately I have just F6 through my turn. So that's a shame. If this game ends quickly, I'll probably just delete this recording and try again, because I don't want to waste a recording. A non-creature spell, if it's renowned, it deals damage, and now it's a 3/3. Seems alright. So I don't think this matchup is too good at the best of times. By opting into like mono blue, basically, we've robbed ourselves of a lot of potential life gain that we can get in other colors. I don't think I can block. If I lose my creature, I'm done for. Alright. So I can play Elder Deep Fiend at some point. I probably want to just emerge my Retrogryph this turn. So if we manage to draw, yeah, always yield to this one, always yield to this one. If we manage to draw a couple of Glimmer Posts in a row, we might be able to gain enough life to get us out of this, but it's not looking great. I'll just play my Ghost Fireblade with my spare mana. Take free damage. Yeah, I think this game would have been a lot more winnable if I hadn't have skipped a turn. That's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. Four damage. Alright, we're dead. I guess I will finish this up. Better to play 5 matches than just shoot you guys 4. So I'm just gonna bring in a couple of removal spells. Orbs of Warding's pretty good. Stops their burn spells going face and also is a little bit of damage prevention. And I'll bring in the Elixir as well. Filigree Familiar, pretty good in this matchup. I think I'm just gonna cut some Apocryphites. They seem a little slow. Like, they potentially just never come back. Skyspawn is pretty good. I'm going to cut a Ruination Guide and 1 Wretched Griff, because we just saw then that it's a bit bad to play this thing for 7 and then have them kill it for 3 only. So hopefully we'll be able to like gain a bit more life this game. Sorry about throwing game 1. Feel pretty stupid. I will play first though. Alright, this is good. We've got Filigree Familiar, we've got Apocryphite. We've got some bit of a curve going on. Alright. Maybe I spoke too soon with Apocryphite. Hopefully we're able to come back in time. Always yield to the suspend trigger. Yeah. This is a good draw for us. This card's just like really good, all the blockers you can get. And we should better start putting on pressure with Elder Deep Fiend next turn. Okay. Let's make sure we have stuff in their upkeep. I still think it's worth doing it this way. Even though it flips that guy, but definitely kind of sucks. Tap that Menace guy. Oh, this guy's Menace as well. Do they have any creatures without Menace? Yeah, I'd like to cast my Apocryphite. Yeah, this is a really good hand. This is just a good demonstration of how good Apocryphite is. It's the back half is really, really strong. Not sure what our opponent could have here that would really help them. They're kind of just, we came out of the gates too fast. They were a bit slower. Alright. Looks like they've had enough. Alright, game 3. Thanks for showing me your hand. I don't think I want anything different. Control magic. I think it's too slow. I might bring one in. We'll be able to test it out together. But I don't think it's good enough. Especially with like menace creatures and stuff. When they attack you and you just, like, the creature you still can't block. It's the only creature you have untapped. Yep, we got a curve again. We got 2-3 into Elder Deep Fiend. Hopefully we'll draw some life gain. I will keep. No one drop, please. Alright, that's good. And we do some life gain. We might be getting lucky. I felt we got pretty lucky last match as well, not to lose to the combo deck when we had a handful of lands, but who says you can't get lucky twice? These guys have flash, so I'll just hold them. Oh, this is good. We get to block this thing. In my head, I kind of think like this thing should have first strike. I'm not sure why. Kind of reminds me of the like 1-3 to let you cast stuff from a couple of core sets ago. Yeah, we're just gonna start spamming lifelink guys. I'm trying to get these guys down now in case they have like Flames of the Blood Hand. Stop me gaining life. And we're one land away from Elder Deep Fiend. Destroy target artifact. Okay, that's pretty good. If that's the only tech they have against me, I'm not too upset. We have a couple of artifacts in the deck, but nothing that's really super necessary for our game plan. We should have an Apocryphite coming off the stack like last time. Alright, sure. So he's keeping us off our deep fiend for a couple of turns, but we're drawing more cards, which is nice. And we'll get back play it eventually. Yeah, that's fine. So this is why we played our Filgrim Familiars out while they were tapped out. 2 cards in hand, so we could play a Ghostfire Blade and equip it, or we could try to just flash in the Infiltrator. I think I'm just gonna hold up in the Infiltrator so that if they like have kill spells here, we still get to cast our Elder Deep Fiend. And I am gonna double block if he attacks. Every piece of removal that they use on a creature is a piece of removal that doesn't hurt me in my face. Alright. Infiltrator, go. So this Elder Deep Fiend is 7 minus 2. So I can play out 1 blade, but not equip it, which is going to be suspicious, but what are they going to do? End of turn burn spell, maybe another Flames of the Blood Hand. Okay, 4 damage to me, that's fine. So getting to the point where if they have like another one of these like 4 damage spells that they can cast now, we're possibly just gonna die to run map ruins, which won't be very fun. But hopefully they don't. Yeah. Yikes. Things are looking a little bit grim. Alright, so we need life gain in the next couple of turns. Either Filgry Familiar or a Glimmer Post. Although I guess at the moment we're technically winning the race. Somehow. Because this guy's a 9-10, that's how. Yeah, so no 4 damage spell, please, opponent. No, don't do it. That's a lot of this effect. If I'm being honest, that's a lot. Oh well, GG's. I wish I hadn't thrown away game 1 like I did, but here we are. Alright, hopefully I'll be back for game 3 if there's some more Penny Dreadful available, otherwise I'll have to wait. But see you guys soon. Alright, match 3 here with a spicy triple Cloud Post hand. I'm going to keep it, hopefully we can get a super early Deep Fiend. Hopefully not another mono red deck. On the draw again, unfortunately. Maybe another Jeskai deck, Jeskai Ascendancy. Maybe Tima Ascendancy. Could be anything, who knows. Ooh, this is cool. I think I've played with this card in this format before, but not this season. It's definitely a sweet one though. Definitely a sweet one. Lots of cool stuff you can do with that one. Just trying to do some quick Cloud Post math. And I think I'm 5, 6. So if I play Cloud Post this turn, then Glimmer Post, I still better cast my Elder Deep Fiend. So I'm just gonna cast Glimmer Post now into Apocryphite. And then hopefully we draw something next turn that we can cast, and then Elder Deep Fiend, then turn after that. Also note that Skulk doesn't work against Apocryphite because it's such a small boy. I'm interested to see what they're planning on discarding, whether it's like a graveyard-based deck or Madness. Doesn't look like they're playing black, so like probably not Living Death. Cool. Cool. Okay, that's a card we can cast. I don't have to start playing blue lands for my Elder Deep Fiend because I'm actually just going to get to 8 mana. Not going to attack with Apocryphite to keep this Wolf Infiltrator back for another turn. Don't really want to block with my Silvermare in case I draw something to cast. Yep, taking presumably 3. Yep, that's fine. Our opponent never expected the 1/1 brigade to block his Wolf Infiltrators. Wait, what? Ah. I didn't realize that's how it worked. Alright, cool. So he's gonna get an Eldrazi. It's alright, I'm gonna have a bigger Eldrazi. I half want to sacrifice my Apocryphite just so I can get so I have 2 mana up. I'm thinking about the Madness counterspell. And I don't think I'll have to worry about that because I've got 2 mana here. But hopefully I don't get got. Yeah, no problem. So now I just need to draw action instead of lands. Ha! Alright, cool. Cool. So, is it a graveyard deck or is it a Madness deck? I'm gonna bring in what Madness cards am I worried about? They're just kind of like 4/4s and stuff, right? I think my deck's probably set up pretty well against this one, fortunately. Flyers are gonna be good. 1/1s are gonna be good. I'm gonna cut 1 Ruination Guide and 1 Silvermer. Just for some hedge cards. But I honestly think we're set up pretty well in the main deck here. But maybe after this game we'll see what our opponent's about more. Like if they've got the flashback, make a 6/6 thing in green, then maybe we'll bring in some more Cranial Archives. I'll keep this. Ghostfire Blade, it's excellent. Especially against like random creature decks. Okay, more enablers. Still no idea of what's actually happening. +1/+1 till end of turn. Let's go play this guy because he has flying. Double Ghostfire Blade on this guy's gonna put on a pretty good clock, I think. I'd love to draw like just Wretched Gryphs and stuff from here on out. Okay, red. It's not telling me what it does. Do I have to... Whenever it deals combat damage to player, exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Oh, that's pretty good. I literally have never seen that card before in my life, but now I know. And I'm just gonna block. My deck's full of cheap stuff that they'll be able to cast, so they're gonna get 1 shot. Hopefully it's just like a land. They can play land. It's because it's play, not... Jeez. Oh, wait. Okay, it's their library. Sorry, team. I thought we were gonna exile the top card of my library. Not that it really matters. Embalm. So they are like playing graveyard stuff. Well, I'm glad I got rid of this. Circular Logic is the counterspell I was thinking of. I wonder if is it legal in the format? I don't remember. I looked it up at some point. Huh. Alright, sure. You got me with your 3 mana. What's the other one do? Up to 3 target lands don't untap. I don't know about that one. Is it Cyborg card? Because I'm playing like the Cloudpost deck. Stop my lands untapping. I'm not convinced. I'm glad I didn't get to put this in his graveyard though. This is a big guy. Pockersite's a good blocker. If he plays one of these, I think I'm going to sacrifice my Scion to get it to resolve. Because I really want to be able to block this turn if they play something like this. Not that I guess I would block this anyway, because I'm a bit equipped then. I'm still going to do it. Pockersite's just a bit more valuable and I have nothing else going on. Yes. So I'm not going to block just the Constrictor. Ooh. It's a good thing I don't have anything anyway. Yeah, no block. What a turn to draw something. That's right, I'm just gonna double Ghost Fireblade now. Play a land. Yeah, I don't love this tech. It's not doing it for me. There are like actual like 4 mana, like good land destruction spells in red that you can just play. So technically they can't kill me. They'll have 4 cards in hand. 3 cards if they make this a 3/1. And then this can go to 5, which is 8 damage. So I shouldn't worry about tapping the creatures, just tap lands. On the other hand, if I tap creatures, I open myself up to like actually killing them this turn as opposed to attacking it and getting chump blocked. Because this guy doesn't have flying. Just kind of looks like he does. I can't wait to get got by Mana Lake again. Well, I said bad things about it. Now I'm getting got. So now I guess I wish I'd tapped the creatures. Need to draw something anyway though. Can make this a 3-1. Yeah. Oh man, that's really good. I like that. Alright, I'm dead. Alright, game 3. So on the one hand, they are a graveyard deck. So stuff like Cranial Archive could be good in theory. On the other hand, it seems like they are kind of focused on just attacking me with big-ish guys. So I think I'm just going to take out the Archive, put in some control magics, take out Sleep, put in 1 Imprison, take out another Silver... No, I'm not going to take out Silver. Take out a Wretched Griff. And just try to be like the fast deck that then gets them with this stuff. We'll see how we go. Being on the play could be big if I get a good hand. Which this is pretty good. I've been able to draw lands literally all night, so hopefully I'll be able to draw some today. Am I right? 6 cards for our opponent. That's good news. Might be able to get 2 life of this if I hold it. We'll see. Nope. Alright, really want to draw a land next turn. But I'm glad they have 2 drops to play. I wonder if they're playing the full 12 enablers. Unlucky for them if they are and they didn't draw one. Oh, I'm so good / lucky. Just gonna play this guy out first and then Ruination Guide next turn to get maximum damage. Yeah, this is being on the draw and then not having a turn 2 play against like a fast hand like this. Bit tricky for our opponent. Going up perfectly. I'm gonna call this justice for our mono red opponent having like 4 damage spells in game 3. Alright. Yeah. Cool deck. I like this card. It's a bit Abbot of Kirkheapy, I guess. I could definitely see wanting to play it in something, but the shell is a bit meh. Like, Madness is good sometimes, but I think at the moment, like, without Frantic Search, it's a bit of a weird choice. Alright, so that's, what, 3 matches in? So we've got a couple more to go. See you soon. Alright guys, 4th match here of Penny Dreadful, Colourless, Aggro. Hand's a little risky, we need a 3rd land, and we don't have a 2-drop to play, but Wretched Griff is pretty good on just 3 lands, because we can go, even if we don't draw a 4th land, we can go straight into the Griff, so hopefully we get there on that one. So I'm going to keep. And yeah, it looks like we're on the draw, which does make that a bit better also. Hopefully not a super fast start. Okay, that's not super fast at all. A 2-drop's good, a land will be better. Alright, got there. Now we just need to dodge counter spells and the like. So I guess there's two main possibilities. We could be playing against like a reanimated style deck or against a control deck. What's this? Exile target card from a graveyard. Exile target non-land card from a graveyard. All other cards from a graveyard the same name and all permanents with that name. Okay. So I guess if there's something in my graveyard, don't play another card with the same name until it's used it. Interesting card. Super interesting. Let's just run out a familiar. We have a fourth land, so we can sacrifice our Proxite next turn if this gets countered or killed. Yeah, this hand's developed really nicely. Except now I'm worried about playing one Griff, having it killed, and then having another one like killed with this thing. But I guess I shouldn't worry too much since I get to draw cards anyway. Just gonna sacrifice my Apocryphite here. It is like my creature that lives through a wrath, but it also lives through a wrath if it's already exiled, and it just comes back a bit faster. Yeah, let's do all the things. Wait. Did I just get gypped of my... Oh, I totally did. Alright, my bad. My bad, team. Should have realized that's what's gonna happen there. Yeah. Alright, that's my fault. Now when I get wrathed, I officially will feel stupid. Here it comes. Yeah. Alright, well, on the plus side, all of the cards that we've played so far let us draw more cards. So we still have a pretty good hand. I'm gonna play this Dimensional Infiltrator in a turn and then try to run out some more big guys after that. Not sure if our opponent's playing like an approach deck. What the plan is. So he has to sacrifice this to use it. Okay. That was an aggressive use of Dissipate. Very aggressive. I'm just thinking about my options here. So I could cast this in the upkeep, but I think I just want to play my Griff. Maybe see if I can tempt him to use this. Although, yeah, he does have black mana, so he can use it. Yeah, I don't really care if he gets rid of my Griff. I get to draw a card when I play it. I'm not gonna play Silvermare. I'm gonna play another Infiltrator end of his turn. I want to keep the pressure on a bit to make it hard for him to cast Effect or Fiction. Alright, this seems like a pretty good time to Elder Deep Fiend. Let's see what he does end of turn. Pulse of the Fields. 3. So if I play this in his upkeep, he has this as a removal spell for my Griff. 5, 6, 7, 8. If I cast it now, it doesn't really do anything. He can still counter it with this. Sure. Yep, more counters. I kind of want to just sacrifice my Griff. Because this way, if he has a kill spell for this, I can just cast another one. And it means that this isn't like a viable removal spell. Gonna make it harder for him to counter, not harder for him to cast Pulse of the Fields. I assume he's just gonna cast something now though. Okay, that's a pretty lame use of mana compared to something like a Fact or Fiction or a counterspell. Alright, so just figure out what my best line with this Elder Deep Fiend is. Whether it's good for me to cast it now. So if I cast it now, I can tap his Suprolling and get in for a guaranteed 8, but I'd have to sacrifice this. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Yep, just chump blocking. This is kind of keeping me off Retrogriff. It's been pretty good for him, honestly. So we didn't have much to do last turn when I cast this. If I were to cast another one, I'd be sacrificing. Can I do it sacrificing my 3 mana thing? So it's 3, 4, 5. I have to sacrifice both of these to pay for it, which makes it pretty bad. I think I'm gonna hold it, and then maybe do it at end of turn. See if I can catch him out. Of course, if he has a Wrath, this is pretty bad. Yeah. Okay, this is good. Now he sort of has to make the first move. And I get to react to that. Hopefully by sacrificing whatever he kills. So he's moved past his block step, so he doesn't get to use this. Target player sacrifices an attacking creature with Storm. Well, I do have lots of bad attacking creatures. Man, I was considering playing this before attacks, and it literally just would have got him more Storm. Pretty funny. Huh. What a kooky turn of events. Yeah, that resolves. I'm really glad I didn't play something before attacks. Okay. What's the play? I want to play this in his upkeep, for sure. What's the best way to do it? Five, six. I can't really. I have to, like, either not play anything now, or sacrifice my Elder Deep Fiend. Both of which sucks as a plan. On the other hand, I could play a Silvermare. Or I could play a Ruination Guide now, and then like sacrifice this one to make another one. Make another Elder Deep Fiend, tap all this stuff. I think that's probably the plan. This way he has to like have something to stop this, and then like we'll be able to kill like all my creatures. I guess I don't want him to have white mana, since I know about Pulse of the Fields. And the Storm thing. But Pulse of the Fields doesn't do enough here. Alright, we got there. Yeah, I think this deck's really good against like generic control decks, just like redundancy, good against wraths, draws cards, flash. Lots of really good stuff. And then per cyber we just bring in all these. This doesn't do anything, this doesn't do enough. This is for aggro, really. Yeah, just this stuff, I think. And we're gonna cut some of our worst creatures. We're actually gonna cut some of this stuff. Because if their plan is to kill all our creatures, it doesn't matter how many Ghost Fireblades we have. Even though they are kind of good against wraths, if we manage to hold up. And we're going to cut some of our creatures that are a bit more susceptible to removal spells. And I'm just going to do it like that for like, curve considerations. This guy, again, is not good if he's your only creature. Yeah. Let's try to draw some unwinds. And yeah, all the flash in this deck actually makes the instance really good. Even compared to a normal, like, you'd think like your attacking deck wouldn't really want to be like holding open mana, but you definitely get a lot of value out of it. Winning game 1's really good as well, being able to go on the play on game 3, if we get that far. Looking forward to it. I don't believe we saw any red either, which is really good for avoiding the cheap wraths that are actually really good against us. The more expensive ones gives us way more time to like play around them and stuff. But the cheap ones, and like, you know, get Elder Deep Fiends to stop them. But the cheap ones can just like completely cripple us sometimes. The opponent's taking their sweet time. It's fine. You get given the time, you may as well use it, right? Haven't really had much chance to see this one. It's pretty good against some decks. I'm not sure if it's good in this deck because it costs so much, but I've definitely played some decks in the past that just like it stops. Stuff where you have to target your opponent. Not the best hand. I'm gonna keep it, but mulliganing against control decks is really bad, and being able to curve out does have its uses. Or being able to play out a bunch of lands, even if it makes our curve worse. I probably don't mulligan as much as I should, just in general, in Magic, but yeah, alright. This could be alright. No more lands, please. If our opponent just starts casting like Fact or Fictions, we're probably just gonna lose. Unfortunately. Ruination Guard's a pretty good card though. And having our double cloud burst up, I think we can cast this and then cast this after combat. This costs 4. This costs 3. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have to keep our Silver Mirror untapped. I'll probably just tap it for the Ruination Guard to be safe. Man, I took a lot of the clock that game. Still not quite used to talking and playing at the same time, unfortunately. But we'll get there. That's good. So, we could definitely get Wrath here. Probably will, in fact. But we've got this guy coming back, we've got to draw an extra card. Oh man. Side out, goes 5 late, it's quick. Not gonna play around another Wrath this turn, because we've got this card coming off the bench that should help with that. Plus with the sacrifice attacking creatures guy. Wing shards, is it? Playing out one guy at a time seems a little less valuable than it might otherwise be. Oof. You gain 3 life. Put 4 cards in your graveyard. Alright, so that seems pretty useless. I don't think Pulse the Field is that good. Now it's probably pretty good here. But I think I just have to not care if they have lands. Hope they have plenty in their hand already. Yeah, okay, good. Okay. I don't think we can really play around another Wrath. So if they have like a bad play, shall we say, this turn, we got a lot of damage with this guy coming in. But somehow I feel like we're just gonna get Wrathed. Didn't play Bovin earlier. Always yield. Imagine if you could just save them in like the that haven't been played yet zone. I don't know what I'm gonna do if he just takes this. I'll be shocked. Yeah. Yeah, I did cast a spell, didn't I? Bummer. Alright. Well, that definitely is pretty good. But still, 8 damage is nothing to sneeze at. This guy, I mean, when he dies I draw a card, so may as well just run him out. Also, we have to, like, outrace the Pulse of the Fields that we know he has. Alright. Something big. That is a card. So he gets to block something here, but I guess he doesn't now. Alright, no elixir of immortality for you, Spare 3. I can't imagine I'm winning. Even now, I don't think I'm going to win. Come on, unwind. No. Alright. Oh man, I can't believe it. He must have drawn so blank. That's so unlucky. I was expecting just like anything to finish me off. Man. Alright. Well, unlucky to my opponent, but another good win in the books, and see you for our last round as soon as I join this game. Alright, last round. This is a mulligan. Although, even I'm nearly greedy enough to keep it, but even I would not keep 6 lands in my aggro deck. No lands, and this is fine. 2/2 drops, 2 lands is nothing to complain about. I'm going to bottom this since we already have one, and we need more stuff that we can actually cast. Alright, we've seen a lot of Frontier Bivouacs, which I guess should be no surprise. It's definitely a good color combination in the format. Just going to lead off with Apocryphite here. I wonder if I'm playing against some more Just Gaia Sanity. I hope not. That deck's scary. I feel constantly on edge. Am I going to play my Ruination Guide? Wait, do I have 4 mana now? I do. I can just play this guy. I can't imagine they'll attack. They'll kill my Apocryphite if I attack, considering the fact that it comes back. So, yeah, this is the best thing about Club Post. It's not like getting to 10 mana. It's just having like 4 mana on turn 3 sometimes. So good. Yeah, and that's absolutely fine. Got to draw a card, got to put our Apocryphite into exile. 100% okay with that. I'd love to draw another island next turn so I can double Infiltrator. Nah, this is pretty good too though. Wait. No, whatever. Fine, let's not pay more than we have to. Don't really mind running out stuff like this into like obvious, with quotations, counterspells. Just because if I don't do this, I feel like they're just going to cast Fact or Fiction. So making them tap out for another couple of turns is just 100% fine by me. You could definitely say I should have played my Ruination Guide in that case though, because this guy's probably a bit better. This guy. One, two, 3, 4, 5. Let's play the Ruination Guide and leave open an Infiltrator for end of turn. It looks like they've F6'd. That was the quickest okay I've ever seen in my life. But maybe not. Sure. Good Burst Lightning. This guy is definitely worth getting rid of. Let's go, Apocryphite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think I'm not going to just cast this guy out because one more land, sorry, two more lands or like another Glimmer Post gets us there. And I think at some point he's going to use a removal spell, and then I'm just going to get my double value. Him being on 20 is a bit almost surprising. Like, I feel like I've done damage, but I think they've just gained it back. Lots of lands. If they want to spend like 5 mana here to kill Apocryphite, that's... Alright, I'm just gonna try to return my guy to my hand here. Not a land. We can go again though. Yep. No luck. Oh well, that's fine. It was still the end of their turn, and we got to. So the fact they didn't kick this to kill the Apocryphite makes me think that they must have something else they want to do this turn. Not sure what it is. I imagine we'll find out. So I just don't think I'm gonna upkeep this guy ever. Probably. It looks like his whole deck is like instants, or most of the important stuff anyway. So I'm just much happier casting this in response to a removal spell or something. He says he casts a massive sorcery. That's fine. I think my opponent's just dead here. I can tap down this guy and just win. Cast with a merge. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 when I sacrifice this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. All right. Yeah, it looks like lots of instants and sorceries. I'm just gonna bring in some unwinds. I don't think I need to do anything about like a random 6/6 on turn 6. I wonder how they're getting into their graveyard. They must have a plan for that. Don't know what it is though. Like, is Tormenting Voice legal? I don't think I even want all my unwinds. I'm probably gonna just bring in some Ghost Fireblade, not so good here. Ruination Guide, not so good here. Yeah. Yeah, this looks good. Actually, you know what? I do want Ghost Fireblade. I want Ghost Fireblade because the rest they're likely to have are going to be the 3 mana ones that deal 3 damage. And I want to be able to last them out. So I'm going to cut a second Ruination Guide. Submit deck. I think this should be pretty favorable for us. Our spells are so efficient compared to theirs. But I do want to watch out for the 3 mana Wraths just getting us. But we've got like some good boys to stop that stuff happening. I'll keep. That was a mold of 5 as well. That was a pretty good game. Hmm. Is this the same deck we played before and they've started a new run? I don't remember what the name was, but you guys might. Cause oh man, the first time we played them they played so many creatures. I feel like it must be a different person with a slightly different list. Because we saw like none of the same cards. If they play Reduced to Rubble, we'll know it's the same person. uh, yeah, man, more Apocryphites more of the time. Next time, just gonna play the Ruination Guard, get in there with the troops. I'm just imagining our opponent there with like the deal 3 damage card, getting upset. Yikes. Alright. Good against Syncopate when you leave open 1 mana. I guess it's +1/+1, so you can block and kill a guy, but discarding a card to... Okay. Alright, well played. Always yield. Alright, we got. Burst Lightning's really good. Okay, this isn't the same person. There's no way. Dynavolt Tower is good with a tune with Aether, that's for sure. I'm just gonna cast this. Yeah, just having a 3/4 that doesn't die to this thing seems pretty good to me. Okay, having 2 of them is gonna be pretty good. You definitely get better in multiples, but these guys come back as 4/4s as well. So I think we'll be fine. Just gonna cast all this stuff this turn. Reach. Who knew? Not me, that's for sure. Alright. I guess they get enough energy to finish this guy off. I just don't think it's enough, man. I did get my first Apocryphite this turn, I'm pretty sure. And I'm gonna have this. Yeah. I'm just gonna get this one up to make it harder to kill, because this just dies to like anything, basically. Especially when we don't have any colorless sources to actually save it. Oh wait, they could have attacked here. I'm sorry. That was a bit dumb. Too busy talking about how good I was. Yeah, okay. So let's get to kill this one. But I think, am I getting my next Apocryphite? Yeah, right on time. So if we don't win by 2, wait. Yeah, so it just keeps coming back. Pretty broken. Honestly, that does it. Finally got to draw an unwind. Is this the first one we've drawn all series, like all 5 games, all 5 matches? I actually think it might be. I love this card. I wish negate was legal, but it's not, so this is just like only slightly worse negate. Yeah, it doesn't beat that though. Alright. I have a feeling it's going to be over soon. Getting another Apocryphite next turn. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I see no reason to counter this. I get that they can kill it, but they can't even. Do they stay for energy? Like, there's just more where that came from, basically. Yeah, alright, well, yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this nice little deck that I've got here. Not sure if I'll make another video before rotation, because I'm really looking forward to rotation, but I'm not really sure. There's no really other decks that I'm like super excited about. A lot of stuff is like pretty well known, like just like all mono red and like the like blue white / Jeskai control decks. But I'll do a little wrap up after this, and hopefully I'll see you guys again. Hey guys, how's it going? Back with a really quick wrap up of the deck and the league run we just made. We ended up going 4-1, which is pretty good, especially considering that we maybe could have done a bit better against that mono red opponent if we didn't just pass our turn. But I don't know if the mono red matchup's really that good. Anyway, so we'll call it a fair 4-1. Yeah, I mentioned in the introduction that this isn't a Glimmerpost deck. It's really just an aggro deck that can play Glimmerpost and Cloudpost, more importantly. And I stick by that, but I just wanted to touch on whether I think the deck could survive without Cloudpost, because you know it might rotate out one of these days. It's definitely a really powerful card, and you know it might spike up in price just before a rotation. I don't know if this deck could survive. I don't think it could survive without Elder Deep Fiend. I think Elder Deep Fiend really is the best part about the deck. But I'd definitely be willing to give it a go, even without Cloudpost. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. As far as changes I would make to the deck, I'm really happy with the entire main deck. Apocryphite was an absolute beast, especially in that last match. I'm sure you all saw. Silvermere, I still think, is the best third 2-drop. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but until I figure out what it is, I'm going to keep playing Silvermere. Like I said at the start, Filgrim Familiar is really good when there's so many good aggro decks around. I would probably swap it out for the flyer that gets you a land, if there was no good aggro decks, but there is, and the rest of the deck is just absolute like 10 out of 10. Really good flash creature, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and just really good with the way the rest of the deck's constructed. Moving on to the sideboard, I'm really happy with Unwind. I think the card is very, very good against control. I personally hope that Negate becomes legal one of these days. Not sure if that's going to happen as long as it's in standard, but maybe if it keeps getting reprinted, surely there would just be like infinite supply. Didn't get to see much of Imprisoned in the Moon and Control Magic, but I think it's still the kind of cards that you want to have against like the big like Naya multicolor decks and stuff that are just playing like really big creatures that get really hard to deal with. Cranial Archive's still a workhorse. It's fine. There's a lot less graveyard decks, Recurring Nightmare style decks around like now than I think there was like a month or so ago. I think people just kind of a bit bored with them, honestly. I think they're still really strong, but I'm going to keep sideboarding Cranial Archive. It's really good. These two cards we didn't really get to see, but I think they're fine. I would need evidence that they're bad to cut them, and simply not drawing them isn't good enough. And the last card that I still don't really like is Sleep. I think it's a bit lackluster, and I would consider cutting them for more elixirs to try to boost our mono red matchup. Now, with that said, I don't know if Elixir is that good against mono red. Haven't had much of a chance to draw it and try it out yet. But I wouldn't be adverse to just really pumping up that like really strong mono red hate, a really one-dimensional like cyborg card like that, at the expense of something which is fine in maybe a more rare matchup. Especially if I was like playing in like a tournament where I think people are going to be playing like a more competitive deck rather than trying out like fun stuff like we saw today. My favorite opponent was the um, Team Madness deck we played against. I think that was the coolest deck we saw. I really liked the red creature that the haste trampler that did it have haste or was it just coming in my end step? The trampler that exiles the top card of their library and they get to cast it. I really like the all the discard guys. They're all really fun. I really like Madness as a mechanic in Penny Dreadful. I've played with it a bit in previous seasons, and I'd love to come back to it at some point, especially if they reprint Frantic Search. So yeah, that's my my opponent, Gold Star or something. I need to come up with a name for it for my deck opponent deck of the week or something. If I make a video every week, that name would make much more sense. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I think this deck's really good. I hope it stays legal in the next season so I can see how it goes against some different competition. I'm really looking forward to rotation. I don't know if I'm going to make another video before then, but yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys around.